Hi there, and welcome to the 21-22 school year. My name is Amanda Cykosky, and I am the principal at the Wallenpaupack North Intermediate School. Whether you are newly enrolled at Wallenpaupack, you are perhaps entering our building for the first time as a third grader, or you are returning to the building from virtual or in-person learning last year, we welcome you, and we hope that you are well and that your family has managed to stay safe and healthy throughout these summer months. All the folks here at school have been busy this summer preparing to reopen our district schools. Secretaries and custodians have been in our buildings all summer helping to prepare for our opening, and our teachers have been busy preparing to meet and teach their new students. I certainly had high hopes that I would be offering you a different kind of greeting this year, but unfortunately, it seems we all continue to be challenged by the circumstances and the conditions before us during these unpredictable times. However, I must also share that I continue to be as confident as ever in the perseverance, the professionalism, and the commitment level of my faculty and staff here at the intermediate school, and the strong relationships they have built with our families through some of the hardest of times. I continue to be extremely encouraged by the support of our school community and conversations I have been having with those who are preparing to send their children back to school in a few days. I want our Buckhorn families to know how grateful that I am for their understanding, their empathy, and their compassion, and their willingness to work through the obstacles and the challenges that we face. We are strongest when we work together, and I know everyone at this school is looking forward to working with all of you. If you haven't had the opportunity to watch the WASD North Campus Arrival and Dismissal Procedures video on the district website, please pause this video and do so now. You can resume this North Intermediate opening of school video when you are finished reviewing the district transportation details. Students utilizing district transportation will arrive at the North Intermediate School at 7:50 a.m., and all North Intermediate School students have the opportunity to have breakfast upon their arrival to school. If you choose to drop your child off at school in the morning, please do so at the middle school main entrance no earlier than 7:30 a.m. If your child is new to the North Intermediate School, we recognize that new students to the building may not be accustomed to entering the North Intermediate School through the middle school. For that reason, in a moment, you will be taken on a walkthrough of your child's trip from the drop-off location at the middle school main entrance to the North Intermediate lobby. We hope this walkthrough helps you and your child visualize and anticipate our plan. Once we are in session, children will be greeted and supervised by middle school and North Intermediate staff who will direct students to the appropriate locations. As far as the first day is concerned, we acknowledge and have planned for the fact that some students will not know or may not remember how to get to where their homeroom is located. We have planned accordingly, and students will have the assistance they need in order to get to their destination. The two pieces of information they should be prepared with upon arrival to school on the first day is simply their name and their homeroom number. Our staff will take care of the rest. This year, we will continue with staggered student dismissal procedures at the North Intermediate School, which occurs from classrooms up until 2:39 p.m. North Intermediate and middle school siblings will continue to be dismissed through the middle school side of the complex. Siblings will be connected within the school and exit together to meet their parent or guardian. All other student pickups will be dismissed to the parent pickup lots on the North Intermediate side of the complex. These students will be assembled into groups within the school and escorted to the pickup lots by school staff. Please remember to allow our school buses the right of way while safely exiting the school campus. As communicated on our district website, several weeks ago, Wayne and Pike counties have experienced a significant increase in COVID cases and have remained in the high or substantial category of community transmission. Therefore, since August 23rd, all students, staff, and visitors of our schools have been required to wear masks indoors, regardless of vaccination status. This masking requirement will be in effect while either Pike or Wayne County falls within the substantial or high category of community transmission. The mask wearing requirement is in line with the guidance provided to us by the Pennsylvania Department of Health, Pennsylvania Department of Education, the Centers for Disease Control, the American Academy of Pediatrics, and our local health officials. It is our hope that the mask requirement will be temporary in nature. We will continue to monitor COVID cases daily and communicate any changes to our plans on Fridays when the Pennsylvania Department of Health and CDC update their weekly community transmission data. Although masking continues to challenge us all, we continue to develop and implement plans for breaks for students throughout the school day. Breaks using designated outdoor space will be planned by our teachers, and additional breaks will also occur during lunch. Although mask wearing can be uncomfortable, please take time to practice this with your child and reiterate the guidelines we must follow at school. If an individual cannot wear a well-fitting mask due to a medical or mental health condition or disability, please contact the school as soon as possible so that an alternative plan can be developed and implemented. Simply refusing to wear a mask is not an option. As health officials learn more about COVID and its variants, updated information is being provided that helps us respond to instances of COVID-positive individuals in our schools. Persons who fall under the following exceptions do not need to quarantine if they are symptom-free. These exceptions include persons who are fully vaccinated, persons who have had COVID within the past 3 months, persons who tested positive for COVID antibodies. In the K-12 indoor classroom setting, the close contact definition excludes students who were within 3 to 6 feet of an infected student if both the infected student and exposed students correctly and consistently wore well-fitting masks the entire time. During the school year, visitors permitted within Wallenpaupack school buildings will be limited. Most of our visitor communication will be done through our lobby guard visitor management system, and most visitors will remain within the vestibule at the main entrance of our school. Should you need to visit the school, you will enter the vestibule and communicate with our main office secretaries through the lobby guard system. If you have arrived to pick up a child, the child will be brought to you rather than having you enter the building for pickup. If you have come to drop off a forgotten school item, such as a backpack or an iPad, you will be directed to drop these items off on a desk within the vestibule area. After your departure, the item will be retrieved and taken to its intended location. Additionally, if we have items to get to a parent, we will communicate details to you and will be utilizing an additional desk or table in the vestibule in order to leave items for parent pickup. Last year, we made many physical changes to our building and grounds in order to prepare for in-person learning amid the pandemic. Many of those changes are still in effect this school year to keep our staff and students safe each day. We have created a safe eating space for our students within our cafeteria. We have 6-foot markers on the floor of the cafeteria so that we can easily clean and reset this space each day. We have time scheduled between our lunches so that spaces can be sanitized by our staff, and we utilize assigned seating for contact tracing purposes. All students will not fit safely within our cafeteria for meals, so we have created additional seating for lunch within our gymnasium. Again, we have created 6-foot markers within this space, and we utilize assigned seating. Part of our routine and norm setting will be based on the use of good hygiene regarding hand washing and the use of hand sanitizer stations. We appreciate you reinforcing this practice with your children at home. With all North Intermediate students returning to school for in-person learning this year, we are not always able to achieve 6 feet of distance between students in all settings. However, our custodial staff and our teachers have done a fantastic job working to take advantage of available space in order to create the safest workspace for our students. The North Intermediate School is outfitted with signage that directs students to utilize one-way traffic routes to limit face-to-face contact. Our hallways and stairwells are organized to achieve this, especially during the higher traffic times of arrival, lunch, and dismissal. Our staff will be making these routes part of the instruction that students receive in routine and norm setting. Distance markers are laid out throughout our school as reminders for all to keep distance between each other when possible while traveling through the halls of the North Intermediate School. At Wallenpaupack, we are blessed to have spacious, well-maintained, and beautiful grounds. The pandemic has presented a need to use this space for outdoor instruction and breaks for our students that allow an opportunity and safe area for children to remove their masks during parts of their school day. Each homeroom has a designated space on the North Intermediate campus to use for these purposes. On the first day of school, students should remember to bring their iPads, cases, and chargers with them to school. Students who turned these items in at the end of the school year last year will receive them in school on the first day. Please note that Schoology accounts will be activated on the first day of school, which is Tuesday, September 7th. Please review your child's Schoology account for pertinent information from North Intermediate teachers. Lastly, you should expect several documents to be sent home with your child on the first day of school. Please take time to review these items and return all requested paperwork as soon as possible. We are pleased that all Wallenpaupack students are again eligible to receive free breakfast and free lunch at school. However, all families will still receive the free and reduced lunch forms for the 21-22 school year in their first day packets. These forms should still be completed and returned to the school if applicable. Last year, we were prepared to have some struggles as students began navigating the use of new tools like iPads and Microsoft accounts for school use. Given what we learned last year, and before we move into a new school year, I wanted to review the policy's major components and remind our students that the acceptable use policy related to district technology is in effect whether students are using it during the school day or at home in the evening or on weekends. In your first day of school packets, you will be directed to review our district's acceptable use policy, which may be found in our elementary student handbook. This handbook may be found on the Wallenpaupack Intermediate School website. The main components of the acceptable use policy include: use of district technology is to be purely academic always, and this includes district devices as well as district accounts. All use of the district-provided technology should always be under a teacher's direction. Contact with peers via Microsoft Teams or any component of a Microsoft Office account that does not support academic work should be avoided. As was the expectation prior to the use of district-issued iPads, Families must set up appropriate contact with the friends of their children using personal devices monitored by parents and/or guardians. This practice keeps students safe and will help students avoid acceptable use violations in school. Please help us in reminding students that use of devices and accounts in ways that violate either the AUP, our electronics policy, or our photography recording guidelines have serious consequences and are not permitted. Many of our students have missed out on the opportunity to attend their open house this year. We looked forward to having all of our students and our families back for that event, and we are all disappointed to have had to adjust. However, at the start of a school year, the thought on any child's mind is, who's my teacher? We wanted your child to be able to put a face to a name, so we have created a compilation of photos of our teachers to help your son or daughter anticipate this part of his or her first day at school. I know I speak for all when I say that the faculty and staff at the North Intermediate School cannot wait to have students back in our classrooms. We can't wait to get back to teaching, and we look forward to working collaboratively with you and your children to make this year the best that it can be considering our ever-changing circumstances. Also, please rest assured that there is nothing more important to us than the health and the safety of all of those who enter the North Intermediate School. This will always be our greatest priority. With that, go Bucks. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you Tuesday.